The Queen of Versailles is a 2012 documentary about a Florida timeshare titan's wife and her struggle to build a 100,000 square foot home in Orlando. Yes, that's right, 100,000 square feet of house named after the fancy French palace in Paris. They started the home in 2006 but had to stop construction after the 2008 recession. They restarted a few years later and may finish this year in 2021. Is that the ultimate American dream? Regardless of what we may think about that house, let's understand that whether our home is 1,000 or 100,000 square feet really isn't all that important compared to what kind of home we've made in it. Because ultimately, life's about people, not stuff. One of the glaring failures of American society is that we have so much stuff that we've come to believe that having stuff is our true purpose in life. And nothing showcases our success in fulfilling that purpose like the size and opulence of our house. Unfortunately, religious people aren't immune to that thinking, personally and collectively. That's why so many Christians build opulent homes filled with expensive stuff, and churches spend millions on fancy buildings filled with expensive stuff. But is God all that impressed with our stuff? In Isaiah 66:1, God declares, "Heaven is my throne and the earth is my footstool. Where then is a house you could build for me?" When God rejected David's offer to build God's house, he promised David a son who would build a house for my name, 2 Samuel 7, verse 13. Solomon initially fulfilled that promise, but that temple only lasted 400 years before it was destroyed by Babylon. Its replacement, built by Zerubbabel, another son of David, only lasted 600 years before it was destroyed by Rome. Those houses didn't last because God had a more permanent house in mind. And that house is the one that his son Jesus would build, the church. In Matthew 16:18, Jesus, speaking of himself as the Messiah, said, "Upon this rock I will build my church." Peter, who was there with Jesus when he made the declaration, elaborated in 1 Peter 2, verse 5. Speaking of faithful baptized believers, he said, "You also, as living stones, are being built up as a spiritual house for a holy priesthood to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to God through Jesus Christ." God's permanent house is a building made up of people who have died to sin and joined themselves to his Son. Living in that house is what life is all about. Is that where you live? It can be. If you will believe and be baptized into Jesus, you can become a living stone in God's house. I hope you will. Well, thanks for watching today's Morning Minutes in the Bible. Until tomorrow, this is James McClenny hoping you have a great day.